evening. This is
Good
Tyese of
evening.
the Tyese Show. I have a wonderful guest for you tonight, and for all of you who are fitness enthusiasts, and all of you who know that you need to get in shape, not just to look good and get these summer bodies going, but to be healthier. This is what we all need. I have the beautiful Miss Londra Lioness.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
It's so good to have you this evening. As you know, we are on Facebook Live. This is the Tyese Show, where the tagline is what we do for therapy. So we're going to get into that. We're going to understand exactly what Miss Landra does and get her history, her background, her journey, what her journey has looked like for her.
Mhm,
And the reason that I do the show, is to help others learn what their passions are
mhm.
and operate in a fulfilled manner. Because the last thing we want to do is leave here with regrets. Okay. So if you are working, your 9 to 5, and you're like, this is not what it is, then you need to
Mhm.
get to know your strengths, your challenges, work on both, and then take it from there. Watch a Tyese show so that you can be inspired.
Yes.
All right, let's get started. So, as you heard, Ms. Landra is in fitness. And
Mhm.
what is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Lioness Fitness LLC. And
Okay.
thank you so much, Thais, for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. And of course, we're Facebook friends and we've seen each other in
Mhm.
person as well. And
Mhm.
you definitely came to mind to have on the show.
I appreciate that.
Yes, you were on my proverbial list.
Hey, I'm honored.
You're so welcome. So, okay, so the name of the business is Laundress. I'm sorry,
It's
Lioness.
Lioness Fitness.
Look,
Mhm.
I like to put the laundry in there, but
Yeah.
it's your business. It's
Right.
Lioness Fitness, and
Mhm.
again, I'm so glad to have you on. So now, what did you do that kind of prompted you to go into to fitness?
Well, since a young girl, since I was in middle school, I used to run
Mhm,
track. So I've been
mhm.
a athlete all my life. And then I graduated from Western High School. I'm a Dove, yes. Um, and I know City Night, I know.
That yeah, yeah, yeah. But
and
it's all love.
oh yes, we loved the girls loved going to City for our little boyfriends. So yes. So
See?
see. So when I was at Western, kind of got out of track. I went into being a majorette. So that's another sport. And then just fitness has always been a part of my life. Just kind of going fast forward here, I used to attend Brick Body's fitness gym. And when I used to see Zumba, I was like, what is that? And one of my friends was like, come on, London, you always lifting weights. Let's go in there and dance a little bit. I was like, okay. And it just goes from there. I went to Zumba class. I loved it. The instructor saw how well I was dancing because I don't have a dance background. I just love to dance. And then learning different cultural dances, Latin, African, even
Mhm.
Russian Cossack dancing, Caribbean, just everything. And they encouraged me to get certified in Zumba first. That was my first certification as far as dance. And
Mhm.
then my first teaching gig was at a church. And then from church, Brick Bodies, because I was really nervous to teach at Brick Bodies at first. But then I had a great crowd as far as my students. And then, of course, you outgrow some things and you're like, hey, I can make a business out of this. And people were asking me outside of the gym, London, you need to teach classes. And I was teaching, but I didn't make it a business yet. So that's how that happened.
Mhm. Mhm. I see. I see. So
Yeah.
now when you started, you actually start Zumba first?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, I started Zumba first because I didn't know about anything else. And I was
Okay.
encouraged to get the license to teach it, which helped me a lot with learning more about Latin culture, and learning their dances,
Um,
merengue, bachata, salsa, samba, everything. So when it was time to go to these festivals and clubs, I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can do salsa dancing and different things.
mhm.
So yes, it was great for me to get into that, especially because I love culture. I love different cultures. So yes.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I'm inquisitive about different cultures as well, and that came from really from teachings from from high school. High school.
Yes.
We had to
Hmm.
take one of the social studies classes that we took was world cultures. And well, there was more than one kind of path, I believe,
Hmm.
if I
Hmm.
remember correctly, but I took world cultures.
Yes, we did
And
at Western as well. Hmm.
mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's very interesting. And from the Latin culture, it came, of course, Africa is everything. But I started doing African dancing, and I never thought that I would get into African dancing. But of course, when you go to different countries like Colombia that have cumbia, which were created by African slaves,
Mhm.
and then you have samba in Brazil, which was created by African slaves. So
Mm.
you get into all these different dances.
Mhm.
And I used to be in an African dance company called Nizu and Company, where we would travel to like Canada and do different festivals. And that
Wow.
was very interesting. And it kept me in shape. Those classes, Latin classes and African classes, will keep you in great shape.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, I've watched some videos, on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I'm telling you, I'm not completely out of shape, but I'm not completely in shape. I could definitely do more, but so just watching some of the dances, I'm like, oh, I can do that, and then some other ones,
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm tired just looking at
Oh boy.
it.
Yes. It can be, but it's such, I mean, it does build your endurance and stamina so that you can dance longer and dance harder. So,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
yes. So again, started getting into different cultural dances. Even in one of my classes I did, which is called Cossack dancing, which is from Russia. I didn't have my students go all the way down to the floor and kick their legs, but we did like modification type
Okay.
dances.
Mhm.
So I'm also certified in doing Polynesian dancing, which is more Tahitian dancing, where you're doing the hips like almost like hula dancing. So I love
Oh, I gotta
culture.
do
Yes.
that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
The fitness class is called hot hula. So it's very nice.
I've
Very
never
nice.
heard of that. Okay.
Yes, it's wonderful. And then again, getting into I am an honorary Trini, so so getting into different Caribbean dances as well.
All
Oh my
right
goodness,
now.
whining itself, when you're whining the hips, that's a
Mhm.
skill in itself. And I have so many men and women who have taught me the right way to whine. Trinis whine differently from the Jamaicans, and so on and so forth,
Really?
but it's great on the core. So every time we dance, we are working out. And that's why I love it so much and why it's so fun. You know how
Mm,
some people go to the gym and they're like, oh, I gotta go to the gym today. I enjoy it because I am dancing.
mhm.
So
Mhm. I think, people think like that because they're not involved in something that they can develop a passion for,
hmm.
where it just feels like fun as opposed to work. A lot of times we get a gym membership and go by
Hmm.
ourselves.
Right.
And maybe we meet somebody, or maybe we're able to bring a friend,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
um, and but we don't really, a lot of times we don't really get into it unless we have a friend with us, and then we're still maybe just walking on the treadmill, doing the elliptical. We may feel a bit intimidated.
True.
Maybe as a person that's body shaming themselves, it takes them a while to get started, to get going.
Hmm.
So I think it's important for people to find what they can have fun with. You know,
And
one
hmm.
of dance is one of the best forms of exercise. You burn so many more calories than
Hmm.
you in a stationary type of exercise like the treadmill. You know,
Right.
you may live in a neighborhood where you don't want to walk outside, or maybe you have
Hmm.
allergies and don't want to walk
That's
outside.
true.
Um,
Hmm.
Maybe you're not in a position to run. Maybe
Right.
you think that there's not much that you can do. And speaking of which, do you work with only certain populations?
Actually, I like working with everybody because I
Mm,
tell people that we all have different strengths and weaknesses and we all are different. So I work with everybody and I like encouraging people to have accountability partners. And I'll tell somebody, I can be your accountability partner. If I have to come to your home and we work out together, like say for instance, somebody doesn't want to go, because not everybody wants to go to a gym. Sometimes they are intimidated, but I try to make people feel great. I do not tolerate body shaming because we're all different. And who is this person to tell this person that they should look like this or that or the other? That's why we have a lot of eating disorders, and not just eating disorders, people doing these magic potions, and I'm just going to say it like that, magic needles and shots to lose all this weight,
mhm,
then
mhm.
having physical internal complications later on. So
Right.
I'm an advocate for natural losing weight and naturally, eating and things like that. I just don't believe in the magic potions. So I love having, even me, and I've been in fitness all my life. I have an accountability partner. We all fall and we all get right back up. So it's
Good.
important.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's very important. Is there what would you say, speaking of natural, what would you say is an average eating day for you? And not cheat day.
Oh, right. So I love to juice. Now, I don't use those juices as meals. I actually use my juices as snacks. But usually in the morning, I love oatmeal. I do, and it's a very healthy protein as well as carbohydrate. I weightlift a lot. I do a lot of calisthenics as well as strength training. And that's good for your bones. I'm 53 years old and I'm going through premenopause. So the joints can start acting a little crazy when you're going through
Hmm.
premenopause. So I make sure that I'm getting in enough protein. As women, period, we need more protein than men. So
Okay, I didn't
typical
know
day
that.
again, plain oatmeal. I use water. I might use a little bit of unsweetened oatmeal. I mean, excuse me, oat milk or almond or coconut milk as to make it a little creamy. I love
Hmm.
eating seeds, pumpkin seeds, and all of this is raw. I don't have all that salt on my pumpkin seeds or different fruits, or my sunflower seeds. A little bit of granola. You got to be careful with granola because it can be sugary. I do
Yeah.
not like eating anything with sugar. Sugar is a culprit. And if I can just be transparent with me as a female, I do have fibroid tumors. So one of the
Okay.
experiments that I did on myself, I stopped eating dairy and also the sugar.
Mhm.
They're just culprits for our bodies, especially as a female having fibroids. So,
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that information.
hmm.
Sugar becomes fat in your body, and definitely I have had my problems with the sugar.
Hmm.
And so I learned how to read the labels,
Yes.
at the
Hmm.
store. And I'll tell everybody a story. I used to have problems with bronchitis. So,
Oh.
that building up that phlegm, and
Hmm.
that was from sugar. Um, Mostly from the originally I was eating like ice cream, donuts, drinking sodas, and that was regular. That was regular,
Hmm.
like in my 20s and early 30s.
Hmm.
And then I actually changed and I stopped the soda.
Good.
Pretty much stopped the ice cream, the pies,
Hmm.
the cakes. Thank goodness it was never my really big thing. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
like if you were to ask me what a cheat food would be for me,
Mhm.
Even years back. 'Cause I'm 53 as well, and I'm in full blown menopause. So catch up, sis.
Ooh.
But in having the bronchitis, and I also used to have exercise induced asthma.
Wow.
So I could not. I wanted to. My whole plan was to go into the military
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then into the police department. I didn't know how long I wanted my military career to be. I was going to play
Right.
by ear, but from there, my intention was to go to the police department
Mhm.
and more than likely retire from the police department. So none of that happened because I couldn't pass any of the physical agility tests.
Mhm.
I did absolutely phenomenal on the ASVAB,
Yeah. I
and
hear you.
they don't tell you how. I took the police written test too, but they don't tell you how. They don't give you a grade. They just let you know if you
Right.
pass or fail, not passed. But I could not get to the physical agility test, and I
Mhm.
didn't know why at the time. And later on I realized why I couldn't run track. My my godfather wanted me to run track
Mhm.
when I was a kid. I could not run to save my life.
Oh,
I
wow.
later found out, maybe 20 years later, it was exercise induced asthma.
Wow.
So when I found that out, I started doing my research. One of my daughters was doing research, and
Mhm.
she said it's the sugar.
And
And
dairy.
I didn't found out about the dairy till a little later.
Mhm.
But yeah, she said it's the sugar that we're eating. The in any Pretty much any when you're reading those labels,
Mhm.
and I know you know this. I'm just I'm just talking
Mhm.
to the audience. But when you read your labels, the words that end in OSE, those are sugar. Some are
Sucrose
obvious, high fructose corn syrup. You can be like,
and
that's
sucrose. That's Yep,
sugar.
sucrose as well.
But
Sucrose is not good
all of
either.
the OSCs,
Mhm.
the malactose, the galactose,
Mhm.
the glucose,
Yep.
the
Yes.
and I remember being in the grocery store, and there was a couple next to me,
Mhm.
and um and it may not have been a couple, just how we we assume people are a couple. But
Mhm.
anyhow, it was a man and woman next to me, and
Right.
I heard the guy say, he was holding a bottle of juice,
Mhm.
and he said, well, I can't drink this. It has X amount of grams of sugar.
Mhm.
And so, and he said, I mean, I'm a diabetic. What am I supposed to buy? So he may have recently found out he was a diabetic.
Right.
So he was struggling. And the woman next to him, she was just like, don't know. So I talked to him. I offered to
Oh,
help. He
nice.
was like,
Mhm.
sure. And I said, and I looked at the bottle and I said, well, actually, you can have this, because it did not have sugar except natural sugar from the fruit,
Mhm. Right.
which is, you, like I said, you got to read your labels.
Yes.
So that's what I taught them, that if the sugar that you see is only the fruit. I read the label, and I let them know there's no other sugar, there's no processed sugar in this.
Right.
And I
Right.
actually don't remember the brand, but it was no processed sugar in it. So
Mhm.
I said, this is what you can have, but if you see the words that end in OSE, if you see several ingredients as opposed to just the fruit, then
Mhm.
that's what you want to leave alone.
Right. Now, fructose, which is from fruit, he would
Mm-hmm.
still have to be careful with the amount of fructose that he has. And that's not just him as a diabetic, that's all of
Mm-hmm.
us. And that's what I was going to say about juicing. I juice a lot of green vegetables, and I'll juice like celery juice is good for you, cucumber, watermelon, of course, because of hydration, and
Mm-hmm.
celery juice. I drink celery juice on an empty stomach every day, even before I partake in my oatmeal. But fructose, you have to be careful because again, it is a sugar, even though it's
Mm-hmm.
naturally from that fruit. The lowest is actually an apple as far as sugar. When I was really weight training for like competitions, my trainer had me eating a half a grapefruit. But people who are diabetic, I think it's the diabetic and their medication, they can't have
Mm-hmm.
grapefruit. Certain medications won't allow you to eat grapefruit. But yeah, that you have to be careful because if you're drinking like, oh yeah, I'm a juice, I got my apples and I got my oranges and this and that, and if you have all this juice from fruits and you're constant, and believe me, I'm speaking from trial and error. I was just
Mm-hmm.
intaking all this different fruit and not putting any greens in it, no nothing, and was like, why am I gaining weight? And it was because I was
Mm-hmm.
drinking too much. I had too much fruit juice in my blender and not putting enough greens. Now I know we don't like the taste of just the natural greens, but my palate has changed so much from eliminating things like eliminating sugar. And if I was to taste something like I had like a spoonful of a cake and I was like, ooh, of something I used to love to eat. So
Mm-hmm.
your palate will change.
Yeah, yeah, mine definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did. So much started tasting just too sweet to me, and I didn't
Right.
like it anymore.
Mhm.
And the salt as well, because I reduced the sodium. You know,
Mhm.
you can't sit there and reduce the sugar and not reduce the sodium.
Yep,
You
that's
know,
true.
because of
But I
course you're
know
trying to
mm,
avoid hypertension.
that's true. Now, with me, because I am, again, I'm always outside dancing or I'm always outside doing my Kegel jumps in carnival or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other last weekend, I was at a festival where a friend of mine did a fitness segment and he wanted my team to bounce behind him. We were in that hot sun. So I do coconut water for the electrolytes
Okay.
because we need that's sodium, that's our sodium, natural sodium, the electrolytes. We need that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if a lot of people are dehydrated or they pass out from the heat, the glucose levels do decrease, and also the electrolytes are decreased, where you start feeling
Mm-hmm.
dizzy or oriented. So we need those electrolytes. Now you don't want to overdo it, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I use coconut water for that, and also I use electrolyte packs that I get from Amazon called Limit, and I just tear it
Okay.
open and put it in my water. And if
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling a little like at the festival a little bit, I started feeling a little like, uh-oh, I feel a little weird. Soon as I put that pack in there with my water, it was the electrolytes, and I drank it, and I was like, I feel much better because we our body has electrolytes in it. So yeah,
Right.
but
Right.
don't overdo it with the sodium. Some people now that fake salt, when they're putting all this salt, now that's the bad one for you. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is your advice on people understanding how to eat? And you know, whether they're exercising or not, hopefully they are adding exercise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, if a person is concerned about what to eat and whatever the case may be, I always say talk to a nutritionist, a certified nutritionist, because I know people have asked me, London, I don't like oatmeal. I don't. So they may want to eat. Now, I do more plant based and raw dieting. I hate to
Mhm.
say diet, but eating. I do more raw
Yes.
food
Mm-hmm.
eating
Mm-hmm.
because again, I'm getting away from all the dairy, kind of doing an experiment on myself because dairy is just it just causes too much mucus and other things. It feeds
Mm-hmm.
fibroids. So I would say talk to a certified nutritionist to see because some people go about blood type. I've heard blood type, macros, micros, and things like
Right.
that. But I would talk
Mm-hmm.
to a nutritionist. But you have to do everything at the same time. You have to exercise. Besides eating healthy, cardio, strength training, or calisthenics. You have to do all of that at the same,
Movement. Mm-hmm.
and that's physical because remember, exercise is not just physical, it's mental and it's spiritual as well. So doing things like yoga and meditation, prayer, all of that is within exercise for your
Mm-hmm.
mind and your spirit. So,
Excellent.
yes,
Excellent.
I do all of that because even though I love to exercise to kill some stress, I need God and I
Oh
need
yeah.
meditation and I need yoga So I do a lot of meditation
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of keep me calm and grounded. And, if somebody got on the last nerves, I'm like, let me breathe. So we need it all of it.
And
Every
remember
single
that I know
single part.
God.
Yes. Hmm.
Without having to remind them that you know
Yes,
God.
yes. It does. It helps me deal with people because, again, at our age, I don't have the time to be arguing with people. I don't. I'm at an age now where I'm, close to retirement, and I just want peace and calmness. So again, as they always say, pick your battles. But the meditation, the breathing, and the helps.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
yes.
Yeah, my mother told me that when I was a teenager. Pick your battles.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Everything is not meant for you to go into war, go into battle. It's just not.
True. That's
You
true.
know, we tend
That is
to,
true.
exercise is a de-stressor, a stress relief.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, and even eating well.
Yes. And you feel better when you eat well. You feel better when you exercise and you look better. And I'm not talking about this societal idea of you got to be skinny, you got to be this and that. That's the problem. That's why we have these eating disorders. We're all shaped differently. Our bone structures are different. Everything is different. So just because a person is thinner over here doesn't mean you're going to look like that person. Look like yourself, love yourself, be confident in yourself, just eat
Hmm.
healthy. And that's why I tell people you will feel different, your skin will look different, your insides will love you for it. Because we got
Hmm.
to, how you look on the outside is because of what you're taking in the inside. If you have a lot of acne, or some things are hormonal with us as women, of course, but when you're eating healthy, your insides love you and your outsides will show that you are. Your skin is
Right.
glowing,
Hmm.
your bones on hurting as much, and things like that.
Yeah, I can attribute to that as well as far as your bones,
Mm.
because before a career change with me, I
Mm-hmm.
did I did armed security for 16 years, and
Wow.
most of my sites were standing,
Mm. Ooh.
and I found myself way too young for, or at least I thought, um, for arthritis, having arthritis. So, in my knees, thank goodness other officers I talked to, some were back, some were more ankles. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really develop those problems. I actually had a weak back before I even started. I was young. I was
Wow.
very young. So, but when you exercise, the muscles, those muscles that you're exercising strengthen the joints
Mm-hmm.
that they're surrounding. So um I had I actually started lifting weights as well when I was about 15 in school
Mm-hmm.
first. That's when I was introduced to lifting weights. But after and within um,
Mm-hmm.
my career as an armed security officer, I found out that when I exercised and stayed consistent with it, that my legs hurt less and less.
Yep.
And yeah, because I mean, it got to the point where I was working a 4 day on, 3 day off.
Wow.
I could not move on those three
Oh,
days.
no.
I could barely move in 3 days.
That is a lot.
I said, nope. Mm-mm. So I ended up changing my site. It
Mm-hmm.
was like a $5 an hour pay cut.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, but your health
Um,
means so much to you, though. You
right,
know,
exactly. And now that was some years ago. So now I don't have that pain.
that's good.
I don't have
That's
that
great.
pain. And just the movement,
Mm-hmm.
I used to actually teach aerobics and be a personal trainer in my younger 20s.
Oh,
So
wow.
I did, but it wasn't paying the bills. So
Yeah, that's why I do this on the side.
And
So,
and back then, being a single parent, it was so hard to work two jobs. So
mhm,
of course I kept the full time. Um,
right.
and even finding time to exercise by myself. And I don't know. At the time, I really wasn't wanting to exercise at home by myself.
Right. Mhm.
And but later, I got into it again, and
Mhm.
that was mainly to get rid of that joint pain.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it definitely works. And I found out as well that for every 5 pounds you lose,
Mhm.
you take 20 pounds of weight off your knees.
That's very true. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, my mother told me that after she did
Wow.
some research. So,
That's
yeah.
good. Your mother's on top of it. I love it.
Yeah. Now, I heard you mention Bounce Fitness. So, yeah, I can see that that's a passion of yours. So,
Yes.
let's talk about that in your business.
Okay, so I teach another program, which took me years to do that because I never heard of it. It's called Kangoo Jumps. I call it Lioness Bounce Fitness because I'm a Leo. That's why I call my business Lioness Fitness.
I'm
But
glad you said that. Okay.
yes, that's why. So it's
Mhm.
called Kangoo Jumps, and it's called rebounding, and it's an aerobics class that uses what's called rebound boots. And what I love about rebound boots, speaking of joints, is that as you bounce, it takes 80% off of those joints. So when you're bouncing, you do not feel anything. Like I mean, from overuse of muscles and weight training and bodybuilding, that does catch up with you. So when I'm bouncing, I do not feel
Mhm.
any pain in my knees or my hips or anything else. Because I do have sciatic nerve issues every now and then, especially if I'm
Oh,
lifting a little
okay.
too heavy. A little too heavy. Sometimes I think I'm still the bodybuilder I was back in my 30s and 20s, and I'm like, London, calm down. So, so yes, so Kangol Jumps is really great. Actually, I got certified in it maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and my mentor, her name is Mia Cofield. We were both Westernites, both graduated in '88 together, and in 2014 is when she introduced me to Kangol Jumps, and I'm like, Mia, what are you getting certified in now? You're certified in everything, Zumba, this and that. And she said, come on, London, just try the class. And ever since then, from 2014 to now, I have been doing Kangol Jumps. And then she
That's
kind
a
of
long
forced me to get certified in it. So now that
time.
I'm certified, I used to perform with another group as far as on those boots. We would do carnival and the boots. We've been to Bahamas and all over doing carnival in the bounce boots, and people love them. They're for kids ages 6 and up, and it's a wonderful exercise and it's fun because it kind of brings out the inner kid in you. We used to,
Mhm.
and they still do. People still do jump on trampolines and everything because they have a trampoline fitness class. And when you put on those boots, the first question people ask me, how high can I jump in them? So we do everything on those boots. That's the first question. So I've
Mhm.
actually cleaned my house, not all of it, but cleaned my house in the boots. It's a total body workout. So everybody who I know who do consistently do bounce fitness, they have the bubble glutes and they have nice
Mhm.
hamstrings, and because the boots are weighted, they're like 2 or 3 pounds. So they really work your legs. And any directions that we do with our arms or anything, that's
Mhm.
working your joints as well. So it was created for injured athletes from a guy from Switzerland. So they look like ski boots.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Because what
I
you
love teaching it.
and I want to say that I had heard of it some kind of way. But I think you're the first person that I saw
Oh, wow.
to actually be on the boots.
Hmm.
And I said, you go, girl.
You can
Look,
do it.
look,
You
look.
can
I was
do
like,
it.
you can have that one.
If you used to skate back in the day, like I did at Painters Mills, like everybody else did, you can get on the
Don't get me
boots.
started. Don't get me started
To
because that's
me,
skating.
but to me, being on the boots is actually easier than skating. For some
Really?
reason, and maybe because the skating floors are so slippery, but
Oh, yes. They have
yeah,
to.
you can do everything on those boots. We do boot camp, squat, and again, those squats with those heavy boots really build the glutes and the legs and everything, and it builds stamina and endurance. People run
That's
marathons
right.
with the boots on. Hmm.
What?
Yep. You know why? Because remember, when you're on that pavement, your feet are just hitting that pavement, even though you might have the best of the best running shoes. But when you're on those boots, because of the absorption of that shock when you're running, you're not feeling any type of jolting to your joints. So even me, I'll do a mile.
Oh, no.
I'll do walk run because I'm not a runner, but
You're
I'll
not
do like
anymore.
a well. I never really been a runner like that as far as and then I ran track, but I mean as far as just leisure, you know how people just leisurely, I'm going jogging today, something like that.
Hmm.
I'm like, I've done enough of that. So,
Hmm.
but now if I have to run, because I do weight train and I train with a group of people at Passport Fitness, if I have to run, I'd rather put my boots on because it's easier on my joints. So,
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And there may be being after being introduced, there may be some joggers that
mm-hmm,
start jogging with the boots. I used to work at at a fitness center and here in Maryland, in Baltimore, and I was doing fitness training,
mm-hmm.
and I would have people come to me just to stretch them out after their run.
Mm-hmm.
And some were older. I was in my 20s, and some were like 50 to 60,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even a little older. And by this time, they had jogged for so long and for so many years that they
Mm-hmm.
had joint problems.
Mm-hmm.
But when you jog, they say you get what's called a runner's high. And
I've heard it.
so
Yep. Yep. Of course.
people
Mm-hmm.
who establish a regimen with
Mm-hmm.
jogging, they typically don't stop. They typically jog for years and years and years.
And it's comforting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It is comforting because it's like
Hmm.
you're out and I never like, I'm gonna be honest, I never liked running on a treadmill because it was just too limiting. But when you're out in the elements and you have maybe your music on and everything, it's as if it's just you in the world, it's just you by yourself in the world. So
Hmm.
that's why it's hard to stop, but I did stop. So I didn't, like I said, I enjoyed more, of course, running track and everything, but just leisurely jogging, I did it for a while. And then I said, I like getting into other things. So I
Right.
kind of started it back up, not consistently, but I will only do it with my boots on because of the impact on
Yeah.
the pavement.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hmm. And you said you were actually did bodybuilding professionally or weightlifting professionally?
I did do weightlifting. I used to train,
Hmm.
and hopefully he's watching. His name is Dewey Fanning. He does he trains a lot of people for figure competitions and bodybuilding and everything. And he trained me, and I was extremely cut to the point where I only had like 19% body fat. So you could see every single cut and muscle in on my body. I was like, okay, I like this.
Hmm.
So yes,
Hmm.
I've had a couple of really great trainers, Jason Wasserman and Joe Maese, who used to be with the Baltimore Ravens. So big up to all of them, and Dell Rawlings, who and Ray Day. I've had all really great trainers, very patient because sometimes I'm like, they're like, nope, you're gonna do it. So
Okay.
yes, and that's the kind of trainers I
Mm.
need. I can't have a passive trainer. I need a trainer that's gonna like fuss at me. So even now, my trainer, he doesn't fuss, but he's like, London. I'm like, okay. Okay. So,
And
hmm
you said that you work with Passport Fitness now.
yes, yes, I actually teach my classes there. I do training as far as train others, but I'm also trained myself. It's a great family. It's like a family environment. There's no judgment, no one's body shaming, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody comes in, oh hi, with the hugs and everything. And I just love, especially as a female, we women come in there, no one's like, oh, or anything like that. We're all
Right.
loving on each other, and we all encourage each other because we know sometimes you come in there and you might have a bad day and this one might be a little quiet. So we might notice that, or whoever notices it. And if they're struggling a little bit, come on, you can do it. Like, come on, girl, or or come on, guy, you can. So that's the environment I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to create that environment when I'm teaching anything I teach, even dance fitness. Because I've had people cry in my class before because they may not have gotten a certain move, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're going through something, and something is triggered while they dancing and they
Right.
start crying. And I encourage them, like, come on, you are beautiful, let's come on, let's do this. Or you can do your own thing. Or and when you get the routine, just when you can catch up, just catch up. But in the meantime, don't stop, just keep dancing.
Right.
So I
Right.
love to encourage people because we're all going through something. We're all going through something, whether it's minute or huge, and people just need an outlet. And they don't need me as an instructor or trainer. Come on, you can do that. Why you do? I don't. I cannot
Right.
people like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, for those who are local with us,
Hmm.
we're in Maryland, and Passport Fitness is in Owings Mills. And I actually had the owners on the podcast, and this is when I was doing the podcast in 2022.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, they're
The
amazing,
oldest
both of
owners.
them.
Yeah, yeah,
Troy and Mike,
definitely. Hmm.
coaches Troy and Mike, they're amazing.
Right, right. I went to the
Mhm.
to the grand opening too. Yeah.
Nice.
So I
Wow.
need to go back and visit.
Yeah. Hey, come on. We
To
love.
take your
Hey,
class.
I would love that. And
So
like I
now, do
said, I
you
mean,
mm,
oh, I'm sorry, hon.
no problem. Do you teach the bounce fitness there? Do you teach bounce there, or are you teaching regular dance or combination?
Well, I do a combination. I do teach my Kangoo Jumps class there from 11 to 12 every Saturday. I am not going to be there this Saturday. I will be at the AFRAM with my boots on, trying to get on stage with Busta Rhyme. But no, unfortunately, my team missed the deadline for the audition to perform because
Oh,
I was
okay.
in South Africa. So
Okay.
I'm like, oh,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
And I hear that you've been able to travel quite a bit with your business.
Yes, we
Mhm.
travel a lot. We go to different countries. We're invited to different countries. We're sponsored to go to different countries. My first,
Fantastic.
I would say, performance was in Antigua and Barbuda, one of the Caribbean islands. So it was exciting, and they love the boots. So yes.
Wow. Wow. So they're very receptive. I'm sure the culture
Mm.
gets completely included, you know.
Yes, because if you know Caribbean folks, they love to jump. Everything is, so the boots
Okay,
work
yeah.
perfectly with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen that. Mhm.
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 And I'm right
Okay.
along with them jumping.
And what parts of Africa? What other parts of Africa have you been able to travel to?
Whew. I've been to, running it down, I've been to Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Gambia, Ethiopia, South Africa twice. And Lord, am I leaving anything out? Did I say Sierra Leone? So yeah,
Okay.
Sierra Leone. And I love Africa. I try to encourage people to come because it's wonderful. So I plan to go to even more carnivals there because a lot of people's like, oh, I just thought the Caribbean had carnival. I'm like, nope. Africa, different countries in Africa have them as well.
Oh, I have to put that on my bucket list.
Yes, yes.
I hear that. I hear that. What advice would you give to someone considering starting a fitness business?
Okay, so just know what you want to do in your fitness business. Do you want to just be a consultant? Do you want to be a trainer? Do you want to do everything? So you have to have a business plan. And one of the things that I did, which I'm glad you have to, anything we do with any business, we have to invest in it monetarily. So the first thing I did was get a business mentor and go through a leadership class and a business
Good.
class so
Mm-hmm.
that you can learn different, because it was things that I was like, oh, I didn't know that you had to do this in business, do that. And she made sure I had a milestone plan, which means, by this date you should be here, by this date you should be here. And sticking with that really helps. So I would definitely get a business mentor if you're going to start a business, so that person or that company can help you get started. Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy, because it's like you don't know the first thing to do. So,
Right, right.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had a business mentor,
Mhm.
years ago, maybe I would have been able to keep up with it and keep it full time and make it full time, or
Mhm.
at least a good part time, and still be able to manage around having my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mentors are, in your niche are phenomenal and completely
Mhm.
necessary. I'm glad that
Oh,
you said that. A lot of people want to start business and do things pretty much on their own.
it's
Um,
not hard.
it is. It's very hard. So I'm glad
Mhm.
that you answered the question like that, and that you did that for yourself, because you may not
Mhm.
be as far as you are today if you did not have
Mhm.
the mentor and teaching you how to create milestones or helping you with certain milestones.
Right.
You may not have even been accountable enough, and or even known how to move forward and ramp up like that.
Right. It
Yeah.
help. I'm serious. It truly helps. And believe me, when you have a business and you know as well, you're constantly re-strategizing. I've constantly changed business, even to the point where I've changed my name. My name wasn't always Lioness Fitness LLC. It used to be World Dancing by London. Just to let you know, my name is London. My Italian name is Londra. That's why it's Londra Lioness on Facebook, because number one, I'm a Leo. Yes. And a lioness. And Londra is actually Italian for London, which is my birth name is London. So yes, so I'm constantly changing everything, even down to, and I never knew we had to really drill down to our ideal client. Like with you and your business, like who's the audience you're trying to get? My mentor
Right.
said, "No, you're in fitness, but who's your ideal client? Who do you?" And
Mhm.
I had to drill down. Single mother with no kids, or I mean, excuse me, single person with no kids, or a working lady who works into 6 p.m. And I had to, and that was difficult for me,
Mhm.
even to the point of choosing a name, a logo, colors. She brought out so much. And I want to give a big shout out to Ebony Crump, who was my mentor, and also to Paula Tillman, who is my mentor as well.
I
And
love
these
it.
ladies,
Mhm.
they both have black owned businesses, woman owned businesses, and small businesses. And it's just, I just try to network with people that we can help each other. And it's not always, can you just give me money? I just want money, money, money. Advice is help. Sharing my posts, that's help. We sharing each other's posts. So
Right.
it helps to have a mentor. Even your millionaires and billionaires still have mentors.
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
okay.
And I mean, if you want to be successful, you have to do what successful people have done. You have to have
Hmm.
similarities in your path and in your journey.
Yes. And to be honest, and to keep it very real, if you have somebody in your circle who's not happy for you, you can love them from afar, but you cannot
Mhm.
have that stress on you and that evil energy in your
Right.
business. Believe me, I've
Right.
had to separate myself from several people who I've loved dearly, whether they were friends or family. who seemed like they weren't happy. No congratulations, no nothing, and no, I don't need validation from people, but it does help when you have people in your corner. They don't, like I said, you don't have to give me money, but sharing my post or telling your friend, girl, it's this girl that teach this crazy jumping class, or she can teach you how to whine. I had a lady at
Mhm.
Brick Body say to me, Thais, she was a cute little elderly lady. My husband told me to tell you thank you. I said, okay. She's like, I know how to wind my hips. And I was like, okay. He was so cute. So I was like, well, tell him you're welcome. She was so cute. She's like, I never
Mhm.
danced like that before, and he loves it. I said, okay. I'm glad I could contribute. So,
She in the house giving shows now.
yes, I said, okay. I love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
just it's just all about I want people and made my parents rest in peace. They were people's people, or whatever you want to call it. They loved people. And that's how I am. I love people.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's why as an instructor, and I'm just giving you the feedback I've heard, as far as the positive part of it. People are like, London, your personality really shows in your passion for what you do, and that feeds onto us. I've had people so shy in my class, like who were in the back, then all of a sudden they in the front doing everything now. So it's just all about
Like,
how you
yes.
treat people.
Get
Yes,
it
and I
now.
love it. And some
Mhm.
of these people have become instructors themselves on their own businesses and fitness studios.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a little
No problem.
okay.
Now I'm about to post your information as to how to get in contact with you. Would you like, I have your, of course, the name of the business,
Mhm.
and I have the website address. Would you
Mhm.
like phone number as well? Is that okay?
Yes.
I,
I have my business number.
I have it right here.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
people will know how to get in contact with you. And and you do classes, but then you do one-on-one as well.
Yes. Now, as far as I'm gonna be honest with one-on-ones or any type of personal training one-on-ones, because my gym is in my home, that's only for women. I do not allow men to come to my home like that.
Mhm.
But with my Kangol jumps class, of course, and dance fitness classes, they're held at Passport Fitness.
Okay, okay, in Owens Mills, Maryland. Now,
Yes.
as well, do you do any virtual one-on-one?
I have done it. That's a need by basis. I used to
Mhm.
have a constant class, but then the numbers started getting a little lower because of different things people had going on. But I can still do virtual. I was actually personal training someone in Atlanta. So,
Okay, okay,
so yes,
okay. And then you have I'm going to go ahead and post this. Now you have a team as well,
yes.
you
My
said.
team, I have a bounce team where we perform, and we just like I said, we just did something for my friend Terrell. Shout out to him, who owns
Mhm.
Met Fitness. He's excellent. And we were at the festival last week called Afro Soul Festival that was in Garrison Forest, and we bounced behind him. So if you all need us to bounce, perform anywhere, we do private parties, everything. I did a party for one of my friends. She had a South African and Caribbean themed party, and I introduced her and with my carnival costume and everything. So another friend of mine she had a white party where we did things. So we do private parties, we do pop-up
Mhm.
classes and everything as far as performing. And we've done Be More um, Healthy Expo that they have down at the Baltimore Convention Center. So we're all
Yes.
over. Um, Now everybody always can come on a team because we all have different lives and what we're doing. So one of my team members and me are actually going to Los Angeles in July to do some things. So I have a lot of things coming up that I'm really, really happy and grateful for. So yeah. It's a little frozen. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. That was my Wi-Fi for some reason.
That's okay.
Okay, so you were saying that the last thing that we heard was about the team. May not all be coming to every single performance together, but you have many, and you travel around. You're open.
Yeah, so if anybody need any performances, we do, like I said, we do private parties, we do pop-up classes. We're getting ready to go to Los Angeles. We're going
Mm-hmm.
back to South Africa next year. I've been invited to come to Liberia. So yes, and so it's a lot that's going on. I don't post everything because I like to make sure things are in place, contracts are in place, different things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I like where the business is going, and just networking with great people. That's what I love.
Yes.
And other
Yes.
instructors.
Yeah.
Getting ready to do something in New Jersey with some bounce instructors. We're trying to get behind Chris Brown.
Oh
We're
my
trying to get Chris
goodness.
Brown. Like, Chris, I will bring some boots for you. Usher got skates. Chris, you need the boots. So, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Usher skate on, on
He's
YouTube.
excellent. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
as wild and jumpy as Chris is, I say he needs those boots.
Oh
So,
man. Come on, Chris. Come on now.
yes, yes, please. I have a routine in one of his songs. I'm hooking up with the Jersey crew. We're gonna record the video and send it to somebody, his management or somebody.
Oh my god. Oh, I would
Thank
I would love to see that. Oh my goodness.
you. Thank you. Please put it in the atmosphere. Pray to God for us.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Look, I might learn how to jump with the boots if I can just be out there and just watching right there live.
you know what? I would love for you to come and jump with me and then record it and say, look what I did. Remember this young lady that was on old lady that was on my show? Young old lady.
Young old ladies, that's what we are.
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the show and for all of the advice and I can see that you just love working with people, and
Hmm.
you are also about the therapy of it, which is what the show is about.
Yes, yes. And I'm gonna be honest, Thais, today I was off today because I went to a holistic doctor for stretching. I did stretching and I did what's called reflexology as well.
Mhm.
Many of us instructors, including myself, and not just the fitness instructors, but I'm sure you're hearing this more often. I developed plantar fasciitis in my right foot. So I don't believe in, I'm holistic, so I don't believe in
Okay.
medicines and
Mhm.
shots and things like that. So a friend of mine named Akima, she has her own
Mhm.
holistic business in Colombia. I went to her today and she did her reflexology on my foot. She stretched me out because I do a lot of weight strength training. I do a lot of calisthenics, of course, with Passport. So I need to that stretching.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason, my internet is acting kooky. Okay, so go ahead and finish what you were saying, and we're gonna close out.
Okay, no, I was just saying that one another thing is good is just, I go to a holistic doctor today. I just went today for reflexology on my foot. I do have plantar fasciitis in my foot, um, which that comes from wear and tear on different surfaces and things like that. A lot of
Okay.
fitness instructors I know have it, but and also stretching. So another good
Hmm.
thing, like you were talking about as well, is stretch every day. Stretch your body. I don't care if you're 20, 19, or whatever. We have to
Right.
stretch. We have
Hmm.
to. So that's just what
Hmm.
I'm leaving off with.
Okay, thank you again for coming
Thank
on to the
you.
show. And
Appreciate it.
I hope that the audience got plenty out of it. I'm sure you did because she has come with a lot of information that we
Hmm.
that most of us probably did not already know. Okay. And this is another form of therapy is to exercise, to dance, to meditate.
Yes. Yes.
All of those. Miss London proposes that you should do daily. And
Yes.
now you see how to get in touch with her.
Yes.
www.lionessfitnessllc.com. And this
Mhm.
is Miss London of Lioness Fitness. Thank
Yes. Yes.
you.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody. And thank you, Thais. I
You are
appreciate it.
so welcome. Be blessed. The Tyese Show.
Thank you.